Hi again, everybody. I am so excited to show you what I'm going to show you today. Happy Trails Camp Math. Here we go again. All right, let's head over to Camp Math this way. We are going to do algebra again, solving one-step equations, but this time we're going to do this topic is types 2 and 3. So it's still something that you've been doing for a long time. In other words, you would get a worksheet like this, and it would say 4 times something equals 8. So this was to encourage you to learn your multiplication tables. So you would think to yourself, okay, 4 times what is 8? 4 times 1 is 4, can't be 1. 4 times 2, there we go, 4 times 2 is 8. So then you would fill in the box, you would fill in 2, and 4 times 2 is 8. Okay, well actually again, you were doing algebra. You were solving for the unknown, the box right there. And like I told you, mathematicians decided using boxes for the unknown gets very cumbersome. So let's use the 26 letters of the alphabet. So here's what 4 times the box equals 8 would look like using X instead of a box. So 4 times what number? X equals 8. Okay, so we can think through 4 times 1, not 1, 4 times 2, yeah, X has to be 2. But there's also another way to look at it algebraically. Again, we have an equal sign, so we have this side equal to this side. Okay, here, this 4 connected with the variable, connected with the unknown, this 4 right here is called a coefficient. Okay, 4 is a coefficient. Co means with, and this is a coefficient. 4 is with the x. So to solve for x, to get x by itself, to get like just one x, what I'm going to do is divide by the coefficient of the variable. So I'm going to divide both sides by 4. Now 4 divided by 4 is 1. So that's just 1x equals 8 divided by 4 is 2. So that's the algebraic way to look at it to get the unknown to be 2, to get x equals 2. You divide by the coefficient of the variable if it's 4 times x. Okay, over here on number 2, here the variable is on the right side. You always divide by the coefficient of the variable to solve for the variable. So here I'm going to divide by 3. That's the coefficient of the variable. So I'm going to divide by 3. Negative 33 divided by 3 is negative 11. And 3 divided by 3 is 1. So that's actually 1j. Well, we know 1 times j is just j, so we just write negative 11 equals j. Okay? Down here, what you want to do is look for where the variable is. The variable is on the left-hand side. Find the coefficient with the variable. Negative 2 is the coefficient, so I'm going to divide both sides by negative 2. Negative 2 divided by negative 2 is 1, so that's x equals, here we have 10 divided by 2, which is 5, and a negative divided by a negative is a positive. So we get x equals 5. Okay, and again, we could always check our answer. Go back to the original problem, the one in green. If I take negative 2 and then I times it by 5, does that equal negative 10? I'll put a question mark. I'm putting in 5 for x. Negative 2 times 5, yep, that's negative 10, so that does equal negative 10, and it checks out. Okay, let's do a couple more just because I want to make sure we cover anything that you might be presented with. Here, the coefficient is over here. I'm sorry, yeah, the variable term is over here. I have to divide through by the coefficient. So I get w equals a negative 9 divided by a positive 3 is going to be a negative 3. Okay, notice this is different than one-step equations that we did yesterday, or whichever day. Here are one-step equations. This was type 1. Here we had the variable being added or subtracted with something. It wasn't being multiplied. The variable did not have a coefficient. So here, the variable was joined with a number by either a plus or a minus. So we solved this one differently. Here, the variable is joined to a coefficient. So to get rid of the coefficient, we divide. Here, the variable term is over here. We're going to divide by -6. -6 divided by -6 is just 1, so I just get b. And over here, 24 divided by 6 is 4. And then a positive divided by a negative is a negative. So my solution is -4. Okay, now number 6. This is where things start to get a little bit different. So I'm going to put a little dividing line in there. Here, when I divide by the coefficient of y, I divide by 3, I divide by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1, so I just get y. Here, this does not divide evenly. So what you're going to do on Delta Math is leave it as a simplified fraction. So you're going to put your answer in as 2/3. Simplify the fraction. Over here. Now take a look at this. Decide first, are we going to divide both sides by -8, or are we going to divide both sides by -14? Okay, if you said -14, you're correct. We divide by the coefficient of the variable. So we divide by -14. So over here, -14 divided by -14 is 1, so I just get y. Now over here, I have 8 over 14. A negative divided by a negative is a positive. So I have 8 over 14. But 8 over 14 can be simplified because top and bottom are both divisible by 2. So that actually, I'm going to do it this way, even though it's a little unusual. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 14 divided by 2 is 7. So my final simplified answer is 4/7. Okay? All right, let's do another one. Here, decide what we're going to divide by. Okay, we're going to divide by the coefficient of x, so we're going to divide both sides by -7. So x equals. Now here, I have a positive divided by a negative, so that's going to be a negative. And it's going to be 18 over 7, -18 over 7. Now that does not reduce because 18 and 7 do not share any common factors. So this will be my final answer. Now let me point something out. When you enter this on Delta Math, you're going to want to submit your answer like this. Negative parentheses 18 and then the divided by, the slash 18 divided by 7 and hit enter and it'll generate that. Okay, this last one that we're going to do. A lot of people look at that and they immediately want to say it's 2. It's not 2. Look closer. What do I have to divide both sides by? Do I divide both sides by -2 or do I divide by -4? Okay, good. If you said -4, you are right because you always divide by the coefficient with the variable. So I have to divide by -4. -4 divided by -4 is 1, so that's just k. Now take a look at this. I have a negative divided by a negative. That's going to be a positive. So that's a positive 2/4. Does 2/4 reduce? Absolutely. 2 divided by 2 is 1. And 4 divided by 2 is 2. So our final answer is actually k equals 1/2. All right, that's it. I just wanted to show you this. So I'm going to have you try some types 2 and 3. And I tell you, I am so proud of you guys for working on this. I know it's summer and you might think you have other things that you'd rather be doing, but I tell you what, I am so proud of you for doing this because it's really going to help you moving forward. So I'm really proud of you. Good job. Way to go. Okay, bye-bye.